You're an investor, you're searching in our market for short-term rentals or vacation rentals, and you don't know where to start. You don't know which resort to go to, where you can get the best deal, how to buy it. You're thinking through numbers, what's included. I know exactly where you are. I help investors just like you all the time make purchases in the Myrtle Beach market. I'd like to help you do the same exact thing. In this video, I'm gonna give you 7 things that you need to do. In the video following this one, I'm gonna give you 7 things that you don't need to do. But either way, I need you to get in contact with me, send me a text message, shoot me an email, give me a call, just get in contact with me so that we can get the ball rolling, whether you're 1 month, 3 months, 2 years, 1 year out, whether you're just thinking about it. It's not too late and it's not too small to have a conversation and get your questions answered. So reach out to me like many of the other investors have so that I can help you get your ball rolling right here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Now let's get into the video. By familiarizing yourself with the essential do's and don'ts, you can maximize your profits and minimize your risk. So whether you're a seasoned investor or this is a first-time investment, you've always wanted to own an oceanfront condo, perhaps you're an out-of-state investor, maybe looking to live in it 6 months out of the year and rent it out during the peak season. You want to escape the harsh weather. No matter what type of investor you are, this video is for you. This guide is going to help you understand those essential do's and don'ts. All right, so first let's start with the do's. We have 7 do's, guys. Number 1 is going to be market research. Now, a lot of your market research is going to be done just by plugging in to the Shorewise Wealth YouTube channel. Essentially, you have a broker here that is doing all that research for you. So if you just plug in and watch our shows, we're going to clue you in on market trends, seasonal fluctuation, property values, all that sort of thing. Now, you also want to make sure when you conduct thorough market research that you get a property inspection. Basically, we're going to hire a professional inspector that's going to do their due diligence in providing you with a 30 to 40 page report on the particular unit that you're interested in. So research is more than just the macro, it's also the micro component of investing in an oceanfront condo. You're going to get plugged into a well-polished network, my network, and we're going to make sure that your inspection's ordered. We're going to go through that inspection report with the inspector. He's going to answer any questions that you have. And then if you want to have any repairs done or ask for a seller credit during that process, we'll make sure to get that done for you. So just keep in mind that market research is both macro and micro. We're going to micro and focus in on that property, but we're going to macro and do a lot of thorough research for you in the actual Myrtle Beach real estate market. Stay tuned because in the rest of the video, like currently, you're probably going to be 8%, maybe 8.24% on an oceanfront condo. Many times the standard is around 25% down. However, there are instances that we can get it to 20% and even 15% depending on the lender. All right, now the second thing that you want to do is you want to understand your financials. Now that's going to include budgeting. You're going to want to make sure that you create a comprehensive spreadsheet that includes your purchase price, your closing costs, your insurance, your HOA fees, and your maintenance costs. Now, I do a lot of that work for my clients. Essentially, once you send over your proof of funds to me or pre-approval, this signals to me that you're a serious investor, and we go ahead and start that process of having you identify your top 3 oceanfront condos of interest. Once you send those MLS numbers over to me, text, email, call me, give them to me, I'll start building you a spreadsheet that's going to have a lot of the information that you need. Now, this is not an excuse not to do your own work. You need to be factoring in all kinds of things. Many times, your HOA fees are going to include your electricity in the unit, the internet, almost a lot of the expenses there that you would find in the spreadsheet. So I will generally put some of that on the bottom of the spreadsheets in the notes sections so that you understand what's included and what's not included. But you do need to make sure that you are calculating everything to include your closing cost and just to make sure that you're getting a complete financial snapshot of the decision that you're making and how it's going to impact you. Additionally, you want to make sure that you understand your financing. Now, you want to secure a pre-approval if you are going to go the financing route for a mortgage, and you want to understand those terms. This is going to include your interest rate and your down payment. Oceanfront condos are considered a more risky investment. That means that the interest rate is generally higher. Like currently, you're probably going to be 8%, maybe 8.24% on an oceanfront condo. Many times, the standard is around 25% down. However, there are instances that we can get it to 20% and even 15%, depending on the lender. Stay tuned, because in the rest of the video, and also how other units have fared. So for example, if you're purchasing a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom at the Caribbean, I would look through the last 2 years worth of listings that are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom and see kind of what the gross rental income was from the lowest to the highest, and be able to provide you with a range so that you can fairly evaluate and identify what you best believe that unit's going to bring in. Now, the third thing that you want to do is understand that location matters. You're going to want prime areas. You're going to want to invest in oceanfront condos located in very desirable areas with high rental demand. Of course, it's going to have a close proximity to attractions and great amenities. Now, a lot of that information, I tell my clients, is found right there in the gross rental income and the historical data on the unit. The rental demand, how great the location is shown by how many people are willing to rent that unit and how much they're willing to pay. So the higher the gross rental income, all that information is found right there. If the attractions are great nearby, people are renting it. If it has great on-site amenities, people are renting it. Amenities like water parks and restaurants, things like that, on-site tiki bars, all kinds of little cool things. But the point is that in that gross rental income number, you can find all the information that you need about how prime that location is. Additionally, you will find certain resorts. For example, the Caribbean resort is located only blocks away from where the country music festival happens each year. Now that's one of the, that draws some of the largest names in country music. So obviously the resort rents out really well around that time. Now we have other things that go on here that draw huge crowds, like the Myrtle Beach Marathon. We have Bike Week, and of course there is golf, which is huge in our market. We have over 90 golf courses in our market. It's something of a golf haven. So, you need to make sure that you investigate the gross rental income number historically, and I would even check into the occupancy to find out how much upside you have in that number, how much room you have to grow. Now, one quick caveat I will add in there is you want to make sure that the resort is as updated and as modern as possible. Resorts that are, built 2000 or newer are going to be great. Those are going to have some of the nicer pools, nicer lazy rivers. They're going to have just nicer water parks. Everything's going to be a lot nicer. Now, you will find some resorts that have added on, like a water park, for example. The Landmark Resort in our market has added on a water park, and it is newer. So you do have to take those kinds of things into account based on your price range, but you really need to make sure that you find a resort that is as modern as possible, because it's going to have the nicest amenities, and those pictures are going to show up very well on your Airbnb listings. Stay tuned, because in the rest of the video, you can do YouTube videos, you can do TikTok. There are lots of ways. I have a friend of mine, Matt Freeze. He owns 12 oceanfront condos. He had over 11,000 views on one TikTok of him walking through one of his units. All right, so the number 4 thing that you want to do is you're going to want to evaluate rental potential. Now, what that's going to look like is income projections. You can get on AirDNA and pull some of those. There's another website called B&B Calc that you can pull that information from. And I'm sure there are lots of other websites. We're also going to provide you with the historical data for that particular unit, and also how other units have fared. So for example, if you're purchasing a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom at the Caribbean, I would look through the last 2 years worth of listings that are 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom and see kind of what the gross rental income was from the lowest to the highest, and be able to provide you with a range so that you can fairly evaluate and identify what you best believe that unit's going to bring in. Now, you also need to understand seasonal demand. Our peak season is April through September. That's when the bulk of our tourism is here. You're probably going to pull in about 70% of your rental income during that time. but you also need to have off-season rental strategies, catering to large groups of golfers, for example, during the off-season, traveling doctors and nurses, having a washer and dryer in that unit for longer stay clients that are going to rent it for a month or 2 or 3. And then also maybe even targeting snowbirds or retirees that simply want to escape the harsh weather where they currently live. So maybe they'll come here 3, 4, maybe even 6 months out of the year and rent it during your off-season months. So understanding the fluctuations in seasonal demand is going to be huge for you, and that is your number 4 do. Stay tuned, because in the rest of the video, I have a client who first year out the gate made $63,000 with his 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom ocean view condo over at the Sand Dunes Resort. He only had his property on Airbnb. Now, your number 5 do is going to be working with and engaging professionals. It's going to be super important that you choose the right real estate broker. The real estate broker is going to expedite this process for you, especially if you're a first-time investor. Basically, you're going to step into a wealth of experience and knowledge in my part, and your learning curve is going to shrink dramatically, super fast. So it's very important that you don't work with someone who's closed only like 2 or 3 transactions, but you want somebody that's closed lots of transactions, that have helped lots of investors, that have experience working with investors. That way that you're not, fumbling around, trying to figure things out on your own, when you can send me a quick text message or call or an email, and I can get your questions answered and you caught up to speed really fast so that you can move forward quickly and get into that investment. Additionally, we always recommend that you work with legal and tax advisors. You want to understand how the investment is going to impact your personal financial objectives. That's best done with CPAs and with attorneys. I believe you should invest in oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because this is the fastest growing area out of the 150 most populated areas in the entire United States for the last 3 years in a row, according to U.S. News and World Report. This helps to insulate our market from many of the ups and downs that the rest of our nation's real estate market experiences. This can help you have a more stable rental property. I believe you should invest in oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because they have a tremendous upside when compared to money market accounts and the stock market, due to the appreciation they earn and the potential of higher annual yields through their gross rental income when compared to these other investments. Money market accounts and the stock market don't have the upside of added appreciation. I believe you should invest in oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because while our prices have risen and have held their value, we're also much cheaper than other places like Florida. Where else can you go and find an oceanfront condo for as little as $100,000? If you're getting into the real estate game or expanding your current portfolio, the bang for your buck is sitting right on the Myrtle Beach, South Carolina oceanfront. All right, your number 5 do is plan for maintenance. This is very important, guys. You need to have a maintenance schedule set up. You're going to want to set up a regular maintenance schedule to keep the property in good condition and handle any issues promptly that do arise. Now, something I recommend to all my clients is a home warranty. We have a company that we use called America's Preferred. They are phenomenal. And basically, you're going to purchase a home warranty. There is a deductible that comes that you have to pay when you use it, but it even covers your HVAC system. Some of the plans do, and lots of things throughout your unit. If you have any issues, you pick up the phone, you call the home warranty company, they send somebody out there to fix it for you or replace it for you. So having a home warranty as an investor is a smart move in my opinion. Additionally, you're going to want to make sure that you have an emergency fund. Now, you want to maintain an emergency fund for any unexpected repairs that you might have. HVAC systems do break. Sometimes there are leaks that might be from your unit into other units. We've seen all kinds of things. So having an emergency fund is always a smart move when you're an oceanfront condo investor. I believe you should invest in oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because you can enjoy and increase the passive income of your oceanfront condo through the 20 to 22 million tourists that visit the number 2 vacation destination on the East Coast each year. Not only can you enjoy the equity paid for by visiting tourists, but you can also anticipate the over 100% appreciation experience at many of the oceanfront resorts in our market during the recent decade. I believe you should invest in oceanfront condos in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, because you can depreciate them, reducing your overall tax burden, keeping more money for you and your loved ones, and ensuring unnecessary taxes aren't paid. Our final do is huge, guys. You want to utilize technology. You want property management software. Use software to manage your bookings, your payments, and communications with tenants. Now, a lot of that's going to be handled by the Airbnb platform. If you're going to use one platform, I'm going to recommend Airbnb. In all my experience with all of my clients, Airbnb happens to be the #1 platform that people use and are on, and it is generating significant returns for people. I have a client who first year out the gate made $63,000 with his 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom ocean view condo over at the Sand Dunes Resort. He only had his property on Airbnb. You can automate a lot of the process using technology, and there's a little bit of upfront work that you're going to do when you're first getting started, but outside of that, guys, you're just going to be basically relying and leveraging technology to maintain and run that unit. It's that simple and that easy. Now, you want to do plenty of marketing. This also falls under utilizing technology. You want to leverage online platforms like Airbnb, VRBO, bookings.com to market the property effectively. Now, you can go even further. You can obviously create a blog. You can, advertise that. You can do YouTube videos. You can do TikTok. There are lots of ways. I have a friend of mine, Matt Freeze. He owns 12 oceanfront condos. He had over 11,000 views on one TikTok of him walking through one of his units. So utilize social media. It's a great way to get your unit the exposure it needs and help you get bookings that you're generating, which obviously that's going to increase your occupancy, and overall it's going to increase your gross rental income, which translates to higher profits. Now, guys, I cannot tell you enough, you need to get in contact with me. Don't be a stranger. I get texts, calls, emails all the time from investors just like you looking to invest in Myrtle Beach oceanfront condos. They have all kinds of questions. They don't know where to start. They've got a financial advisor they got to run it by. I mean, there's all kinds of scenarios I hear, from seasoned investors to first-time investors. So don't be a stranger. Pick up the phone, give me a call, text me, email me. Just don't get the process rolling. That way, at least your questions get answered and I can get you over a handful of the hurdles. I would guess that many times investors are, held back by fear. They have lots of concerns. Well, a simple conversation can move you over a lot of those hurdles and possibly expose you to how fast you could be the owner of a Myrtle Beach oceanfront condo and be invested in our market and seeing those profits come in. So don't let a simple conversation hold you back. I don't care if you're 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, a year out. Get in contact with me. Let's get a relationship established. That way that you can stay in the know and you've got a person right here in our market to help you invest, even if it's your first time.